Oftentimes, I'll get messages from individuals who have read my blog or who have watched one of my videos, and they'll send me very nasty negative messages telling me that I'm going to hell, and who do I think I am to be sharing these messages with people, and this, that, and the other. And I've never really talked about being gay and versus the church. And when people say to me, what you're doing is a sin and you're going to hell, oftentimes what I tell them is that I don't agree. Because Jesus loved all people. Jesus loved all people. He walked and talked unconditional love and allowed anyone who wanted to follow, he enveloped them and he welcomed them. So, who are anyone in a human stance, in a human existence, to come along and say, you're going to hell and you're going to be damned for what you do? People don't understand that same-sex interest is not a learned trait. I grew up in a household where I was never raped. I was never molested in my life. Every morning I woke up, my father was there before I left for school, and he came home every night to help me with my homework and anything else that I needed him for. I had my father in my life. People oftentimes want to sort of blame molestation or rape or some type of major life circumstance or situation on or make it the catalyst for why so many young men or young women grow up gay. And it's not a learned trait. We are born this way, despite what scientists or statistics state. I was born gay. Anyone who I've ever spoken to in my life, friends and associates, it's not an element of who we are that we ever chose. The only point that we do choose is to finally act upon it. That's the only thing as human beings that we often choose, is our behaviors. We don't choose our feelings. We don't choose our attractions. The same way that heterosexual boys and girls at the age of 4, 5, and 6 years old don't choose their opposite sex interest. When they grow up and begin to go through puberty, they don't choose to be attracted to the opposite sex. It just is. It's that natural state. And that's part of the reason why I don't practice my faith in a church or a cathedral or a synagogue or any sort of temple. Because I truly believe that in this day and time, the church in itself no longer nurtures or edifies the spirituality of gay people. Now, there are churches that are very enveloping and welcoming of gay men and gay women. But upon the mainstream, they are not. And that is why I choose to sort of, maintain my relationship with the Lord behind closed doors. I talk to God the same way I'm talking to you all now. It sort of, to me, is a huge contradiction in 2010 when, you have these cathedrals and these churches and these temples and these synagogues that sort of perpetuate the same heinous levels of prejudice and discrimination against a very faithful gay community, when in essence, especially in amongst minority groups and blacks even more so, these are the same people who endured this same heinous treatment years ago. So how do you then turn your back on another stem of your own ethnicity and racial group? That's the problem. All the many ministers and preachers and reverends and deacons who stand on their pulpits spreading these lies and sort of these huge contradictory opinions regarding homosexuality, and yet and still these are some of the same ones who go on these church retreats and these gospels having their backs blown out by the altar boys. And I said that. Yeah, I I did just say that. Some of the most sexually charged messages that I've received in the past 2 to 3 years via Facebook and MySpace and email and even here on YouTube stem from deacons and reverends and pastors and preachers who spend their lives hiding behind the church, thinking that somehow, some way, you know, it can cure their homosexuality, and there's no such thing. No matter what your parents say, no matter what the preachers say, no matter what teachers or scientists or mathematicians or philosophers say, there's no such thing as praying the gay away. That doesn't exist. Because God knows, if it did, I wouldn't be turning 30 tomorrow and still gay. Because I went through that phase in my life where I did that. And there is no such thing as praying the gay away. There is no pill. There is no pill you can take in this world to cure yourself. And so many believe that for as long as they remain celibate and don't act upon their attractions and don't act upon their feelings, that somehow that separates them from all the gays who do act upon their attractions and their feelings. And it doesn't. But no, let me correct myself, it does. Because those of us who choose to act upon our attractions and our feelings and our emotions to envelop that love, you know, I feel live happier lives, more fruitful, fulfilling lives than those who choose to hide behind their religion and their faith, you know, and deny themselves. Life is not worth living if you can't live it freely. And if I never make another video again, if I never come and speak again, if I never do another blog, I say to all of the young men, the young women across the world, my teenage viewers, my young 12, 13-year-olds who have not yet come out, who don't yet feel a sense of comfort because for so long you've been taught and told by your family and friends and peers and teachers and preachers and deacons at the church that same-sex interest is a sin. I say to you that, as I said at the beginning of this video, Jesus walked and talked unconditional love and enveloped all of those who wanted to follow him. So there is no human being who walks the face of this earth who has the power or prestige to tell you that how you were born in this world is a sin. God knew who we were while we were still in our mother's wombs. You know, our lives were mapped and planned out long before we even smelled fresh air. God chose this life for us all. You being gay is no more of a sin than anything else that anyone else does or naturally feels or naturally moves towards in their lives. Believe that and know it. I'm telling you, I am the living proof. I am the living proof. You don't have to walk around with your heads held low. Stand in your own existence. You were born gay. You didn't choose it. So you have nothing to be ashamed of. You exist in one of the images of God because he chose this for you, regardless of what anyone else in the world ever tells you. And that's all I have to say. Alright? I love you all so much. I'm so excited for my birthday tomorrow. Let's continue this journey together, socialites and celebutants. Let's continue to conquer this world, one word at a time.